Hi, this is Greg in Pensacola, Florida. I'd like to welcome you to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to take a look at an active Kickstarter called Epic Sci-Fi Tiles by designer Rob Mehew. Rob and I talked about a year ago. He was running his very first Kickstarter was a fantasy-based tile set, and he sent me a couple preview tiles to look at just to get my opinion on, and I thought they looked pretty good. And during the course of his campaign, he switched his fantasy tiles over to the OpenLOCK system. And that campaign funded well and went on to be pretty successful. So Rob is back, and he's made a sci-fi tile-based system. And he sent me the starter set for that and asked if I could do a video for it for his current campaign. And, so the campaign is running. It's got 13 days to go. It's already funded, and they're working on stretch goals. So I thought I'd print just, a section of it out and put a few pieces together, and we'll talk about what we have here. So like I said earlier, this is an OpenLOCK system. So like my last video, which was by Corvus, Games Terrain, it's a tile-based system based on a 2x2. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to print out a whole bunch of these tiles, if you haven't seen them before. And they print like this. So if you can see the end, you see those little supports that are on there? That's something you're going to clip out. So like on this tile here, I clipped out the center portion of each one. And then the system is based on these clips. If you look right there. So I've got clips in all four of the center pieces. And each side of these has 3 positions that you can put the clips. So if you look right to the left and right of where that orange clip is in there, the OpenLOCK clip, you'll see that you can clip those out. So if you needed, when you go around a corner, you end up using these side clips versus the center point. And then on the bottom, you can see how they all lock in there. And when you're done, when you're putting stuff together, you can come up with something like this. And so, one of the very first things that stands out about this is it's a low wall system versus a high wall. So if I take a wall by Corvus and put it here, you can see the difference in height of the walls. This is a nice system. I've one of the fantasy-based systems that I've supported by Kickstarter in the past has a low wall on it too. So if you're doing RPG and stuff like that, it's really nice with the low walls, because if you're all sitting around a table and depending on the table height, you can see the entire dungeon. You don't have to worry about a crate or a barrel or something like that being hidden behind a wall that you might not see sitting on the other side of the table. So bringing this up to the sci-fi setting, we've got our sci-fi crates, we got tables, and I'm going to put some miniatures on here from Star Wars, and you're going to get to see that if you have a whole table this set up, and if you're doing an RPG, I'm just going to say the RPG because there's been a lot of sci-fi RPGs that have come out lately. Pathfinder's just released one. I think it's called Starfinder. FFG just made a sci-fi system. So not only can you take your games like Space Hulk and run it on here, but you can also dual purpose this really well into an RPG setting. And so I'm going to take a look at a few of the pieces that he has on here. The first thing, I held up this tile a minute ago, and this is the floor tile that you have for this system. So if you look, when they line up together on there, he did a real good job with this design that no matter which way you put it, it's got points that line up, and it'll make a unique pattern on the floor. And so that's, when you look at this, it's almost like a wiring schematic or something like that. It's just nice the way everything lines up on there. So you have the one tile, but you have a whole bunch of different options. But remember, because this is OpenLOCK, it can go with any other system's tile. So if I grab a tile from Corvus and I come up here and I click it right on, and then there you go. So you can mix and match tiles from different systems on here. But for Rob's tile and the way he did the design on this is really nice. It looks really good in front of you the way it sits on the board. Again, the low wall system on here, so you can see really well what's going on. He's got doors, and the doors slide open just like this. Let's do a door maybe that you can see. So and these just slide right in. So this prints really well. It just drops in. So with the doors, when you print them, you do have to add support to a couple pieces on, as part of this campaign. But so I took the door, and this is one that's off the printer. And what I did was simplify 3Ds. I added 4 support pieces on each side like that. And so with just a push of a thumb, they all came right out, nice and clean. And then I can grab the door. Grab the door, which has a thing on it. Oh, I got a piece of support in the track. Let me get my pliers, just a second. Alright. When I broke it off, this piece fell over into the side of the track. We'll put that on, good to go. So, if you're, I know Simplify 3D that you can put supports where you want them on there, but like I showed, they pop right out. So if you're using Cura, and you put supports up in here, you just push it out with your thumb. Just watch the track like I did, because when I pushed it, a piece went right off into this track on the side. Not a big deal. I just used my needle nose, pulled it right out, and now it's ready to go. So the doors are really nice on here. They flow well, they lock in good, and stuff like that. Another unique tile to this system is this right here. So you've got a tile that has these built-in supports when you print them. And at first I was like, oh, these are like grating or something like that. I didn't realize until I went back to his page that these are supports that you can cut out. So you can cut these supports out, but I would also leave some in, to make it just a little visually different if you're going down a hallway or something like that. But you cut them out and it looks like this. And so right on the top of here, you'll see there's a slit, and that's meant so you can slip cardstock or paper down in here. So you could use a colored background paper, or you could use black paper and put little silver dots on it and stuff like that. So it's almost like a viewport. You could put some terminal stuff on there, black and green, or whatever you want to do. It just gives you an option to add a little color to, what's going on your build. So that was pretty neat on there. So you can put a lot of different stuff. So if say you're in a red section of there's an alert status in your RPG, you can pull out the paper and you can drop red paper in there to know what the alert status is that your group is moving through on whatever spaceship or whatever spaceport they may be in. He does add furniture and items to this Kickstarter also. So he's got crates and barrels. I printed out some crates on there. He's got barrels. He's got tables that look like this, and they print like that up. He's also got chairs. He's got little chairs that will go around him and stuff like that also. And he's got this control, like a captain's chair that sits right here. And what's nice with this captain's chair is I'm going to grab here from Imperial Assault. That's a Star Wars figure. He sits right in there. So it fits that 25mm base just fine on there. So again, really RPG centric. If you're running an RPG or something like that, it would look really good. And so just to show you a layout that if you were running an RPG or something like that, this guy could be behind the table. You got a big Wookiee, and that's probably one of the wider handed figures in Imperial Assault, and you can see that he sits in that fine down there. Guy with a heavy blaster behind the door. Some guy hiding over there, and then, you've got your bad guys. So the larger bases fit right in here fine, because again, these are 50mm squares, and then you've got, Vader and a couple stormtroopers that are with them on there. So, if you're playing an RPG, this will look great on your game night, and again, it's OpenLOCK, so it's easy to, it's easy to click together. You're running different stuff every time you set it up. The only time consideration really is you have to clip those support pieces off the pieces. So even the wall pieces have this. But like I showed in my last video, if you just want to hook stuff up that goes, you can just clip the walls together and just move down. You don't have to clip everything together, but it's nice if you're transporting. You can take certain pieces off. Like I could pop this part off right here, put it in a box, you go to your game night, you set it up, you're good to go. But let me pull these pieces off, and I'll put some pictures at the end, just kind of like some static shots, so you can get in there in case there's a couple shadows here and there. But I'm going to pull the furniture off and the command console off, and then tip this up so you can really get a good look at what the design layout looks like. And let me pull these doors out because they're going to fall out. when I flip it over. So again, you see how that floor all works together? You know, they're not different tiles, it's all the same tiles, it's just how you arrange them on there. And then on the back, you can see the clips, how I have it clipped together. They should mostly all be orange, yeah. What I do when I get a short roll of filament is I print pins and clips. You know, if I got like 4 windings left or 5 windings left, I can print a whole print bed full of clips. I just throw them in a Ziploc bag. So, and one thing, you know, if you've done OpenLOCK for a while, you never have enough clips. I don't care how many you print. It's just, you're always needing clips. After 4 years, you think I know how to move this around on camera. All right. Yeah, so I always keep a baggie of clips on here, and you know, I need like 3 bags full of these to support all the OpenLOCK tiles that I have. But they're real easy to print, and like I said, when you got short rolls of filament, you know, you just got a few windings left, you really can't print much of anything else. You know, OpenLOCK clips don't take much filament at all. So, I mean, you can knock out, you know, a set of 30 or 40 in an hour, hour and a half, you know, on your printer, and you're good to go. So so he's got a good job. Like I said, it's the campaign's funded. You can see some of the tile pieces here. You know, he's got a straight wall, his corners, he's got his 4-way junction pieces. You know, so he's covered all, you know, the areas that you need to move around. Again, Space Hulk, like I showed from Corvus. You know, if you're a Space Hulk person, here's another option for you. These pieces won't necessarily fit in there, depending how you have them based. But, you know, you can run Space Hulk on this just as well, and just as well as any of the other OpenLOCK Sci-Fi systems. So it gives you a little option to look at on here. You know, some more variety. I think the let me look at what the top pledge mark is. It is 32 pounds. So Kickstarter says it's about $45. You know, and that's the everything pledge, including 10 isometric maps that he's designing and some adventures for his system also. So you get a little bit extra just besides the tiles on there. So remember, this one comes with furniture, so if you're an RPG person, that's really cool. He did make this also. This is one of the worker ships, and this is he's marked it as an add-on, but I don't think it's not a paid add-on. I think it's like a Kickstarter exclusive. So this is a ship. It prints in 3 pieces, and then it slides together. Let's see if I can slide this out. It's got a really tight fit, so you know, it prints like that, and then it just clicks in and slides in there. So this is something new he's kind of branching out into. He wanted to try it out, and he left this as part of the Kickstarter. So this is the worker ship. You know, this also comes with the Kickstarter. So here it is right here. And this prints, he's got built-in supports with it and stuff like that. So he's got supports that run underneath these cannons or or telescopes, however you want to, you know, run them. I think more telescope on there, but you know, it'll sit right here on the ground also. And so yeah, like you can see that it'll sit right here on the ground. So, and again, if you're running an RPG and you wanted to build a hangar bay, you know, like that, this ship would sit right in it. So, and then you can place a couple of your figs around here. And so you see how fast this type of tile system can really just increase your game night on there. You know, just the enjoyment of your game night. You know, if you're always using you know, I use a pen and, you know, those wet erase rollout mats and stuff like that. But if you get a chance, try to integrate some of this stuff in on there. It's really nice. I don't use it 100% of the time, but I will build out certain sections, and there's a difference. And you try this one night, you know, have your normal rollout mat, and you have your figures on your flat piece out there with you just drawing with wet erase marker, and then the next night build something in one of these and pull it out and put it down and watch your players' reactions and just see how it goes. Because I pretty much guarantee you're going to see a little more excitement than you probably haven't seen before, and you're really not changing your adventure at all. You're just adding a little more cinematic elements, a little more visual for the mind as you're playing on there. So, big RPG guy. You know, there's a lot of sci-fi RPGs out there. There's a lot of new ones out there. You know, Space Hulk, I mean, it's a no-brainer for Space Hulk. It's a low wall system, so it's kind of unique in that point. And remember, OpenLOCK mixes and matches. So you could do low wall over here. You could grab a wall from another Sci-Fi tile campaign and stick it in this spot. You can mix and match all the tiles, and before you know it, you've got a really unique, customized, something that you made up board to run on. So I appreciate Rob sending it to me and letting me check it out. It is really nice, and like I said, it is funded, and the highest pledge on there is about $45. You know, so I got the base tile set right here, and so, you know, the proof's in front of you that it's ready, it's printable, and it looks really good. And so all this was printed on a CR10S and CR10 regular on there. So this I had no issues at all printing no issues at all printing any of the components that he sent me. So they all looked really good. There is a couple things that need support when you print. Remember, like the door I just showed you on there, but it's just a couple pieces of support you're going to put in and they pop right out. So it looks great. It doesn't mark anything up. Oh, one of the things that he talks about on the door, you know, he's got little features in here, like, you know, like I talked about this, you know, being unique. He's got these dots up here, so if you wanted to paint this and you wanted certain threat levels or which area you're in, you know, hey, I'm in the green area or the red area, you know, you can put that stuff up there in the dots. But it just gives you a little ability to customize maybe what level you're on or something like that can go up on there. But I think between, you know, like the door, some of the details on there, being able to slide different color paper or paper that you've drawn a design or printed a design on and put it in this, you know, that's pretty unique to this system here. So good job to him. If you haven't seen the campaign, definitely I'll have links to the page that you can go check it out. And if you decide to back the campaign, let them know that the video sent you there. And I thank you, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a good night.